and we have stronger beliefs about how we are perceived. Right or right? And sometimes those beliefs inhibit our abilities to influence or persuade in a positive manner. Would we agree with that? Right? So a customer comes into our store looking to make an X amount, a dollar investment, or a cash outlay on a monthly basis of X amount of money. No question they're going to be concerned about making that decision. No question they're going to be suspect about if this is the place they want to do business. Because they've been told since the time they were this big to not trust the salesman. They were told since they were this big, you're just a slick talking salesman. So if we're going to combat this myth, and our mission statement for 2015 is one, to sell 744 cars. Yes, that's one. But the bigger mission statement for me is that our team at Lally Kia understands in their heart that their job is more than just the next sale. Their job is bigger than just the next customer. Because the customer's perception is we will do or say anything we need in order to sell the car today. Right or right? Is there any doubt in anybody's mind? Right? If we adhere to that by saying to somebody, so, what do you think? All I need is a copy of your registration and we're good to go. No, I'm going to go home to think about it. And we say, well, think about it. Thought takes that long. What do you have to think about? What you need to do is make a decision. What is it about you don't like? Blah, 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 blah. Are we like every other salesperson? Well, we may be like, we may be smoother than most because we can handle the objection. We don't just stand there. But there are other techniques that I think are better, that I think are more relevant, and that I think facilitate what we want to do, which is wow our customers every single time. I just need my markers. Sorry, I'm going to have to stop. Imagine you're the customer. We want to wow the customer every single time. What do we have to do? We talked about this.
Enthusiastic.
Right? We have to be very enthusiastic. Yeah. Okay, what else? Louis? Sharp as a tack. Yeah. And an expert or some sense of authority, right? Somebody coming in to spend $40,000 or $4,000 wants to make sure very quickly in the conversation that they're dealing with somebody that facilitates in some way one of these three things, right? Somebody that's enthusiastic about their profession. And Lori, you come from a retail business. When you run into somebody that's got an enthusiastic approach to their business, what does it tell you automatically about where they work? They're happy where they work, right? So there's a sense of happiness. There's a sense of they like to be there. There's probably a sense of investment, right? They're not just here today, gone tomorrow. When you run into somebody that enlightens you within the first 4 or 5 seconds of the conversation, and you know this person knows what they're talking about, being sharp as a tack, Sharon, will do what for the transaction? What does it give you instantly? Credibility. And with credibility comes the easy what? To build? Rapport, right? And when you come across as somebody, Louis, with authority, what does that do to the customer's anxiety when they know that you're enthusiastic, sharp as a tack, and certainly have a sense of authority or an authority figure in this industry? They'll trust us. That's exactly right. So the things we want to get right away, we want to build massive rapport. We want to gather a whole bunch of intelligence. But the net result is not that we want the customer to trust us. Is it not that we want the customer to know that we are just like them? Is that not true? If every customer that sat across from your desk inherently knew that you were just like them, that you too were suspect as to whether or not this was the right place to make a decision, that you too understood that $394.56 a month over 84 months is a lot of money, would that not be a much better feeling for the customer? Now, can you say to the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm just like you? Can we say that? Can I say to the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, trust me, trust me, trust me. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Well, I can, but how effective would I be? I wouldn't be effective at all, right? I'd be the traditional sales guy that said, trust me, trust me, trust me. So again, these, pardon my lack of English, are the three tenets to everything that we do. When we pick up the phone, when we meet and greet a customer, when we're talking face to face at a business, when we're in a social gathering, whatever the environment is that we insert ourselves in, our mandate internally has to be to make sure that we're enthusiastic, right? That we come across as a sense of authority figure or somebody with some sense of remembrance. And the third is that we're sharp as a tack, right? Now we talk about this straight line theory of selling, which is not new. And really, a straight line theory of selling, all that is, and this is just a quick review, all that is it's just a game, right? Straight line theory of selling says we start here, right? By doing what? Building rapport, right? And then we move down the line, gathering massive intelligence, right? And then we keep moving down the line because we know every now and again the customers are going to go off the line. We want to bring them back on the line and continue down the road. The question is, how do we do that? Right? How do we eloquently take the customer when they say, I want to think about it, and eloquently move them back on the line and down the road? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Because today, we're going to learn how we literally take the customer from here and get them to here by, one, knocking away those internal beliefs that making a decision is bad. That there's going to be some pain, I'm going to be ridiculed, people are going to make fun of me because I came to the store and I bought and I paid too much. I came to the store and I believed what the person told me. I came to the store and I didn't believe like the book says to. Because if we go and Google how to buy a car, every idiot that comes on that corner of the page says, never buy the first time you come in. Fair enough? Now, is that a good strategy? If somebody comes in to buy a used car from Lally Kia and the car's priced at $18,500, because we value market price our cars, because we're competitive in the marketplace, let me ask you a question, Mr. Customer. Have you seen any of our automobiles online? Yes, I have. So now our job is just to make sure that we educate our customer in a way that they're comfortable making the decision, because it goes back to my first statement. Lou, are they going to get a better deal tomorrow than they would today if we're committed to market value pricing? No. Pardon? No. Now if they wait 12 days, it may adjust by $64, because the older something gets, the less valuable it becomes based on our fair market pricing. But the fact of the matter is, they're not going to get a better deal. Because do we hide incentive money? No. And if we are, we don't do it anymore. Do we give the customer the best deal the first time they're here? We had better, because what we say is 1.2 dealerships per person. Like Lou said to me the other day, I had a customer came from another store. That was the 1.2 dealership. Right? If people are coming to 1.2 dealerships before they pull the trigger, then we better understand very, very clearly that our best foot better be forward. Right or right? Pardon? Right or right? So if we got a customer that travels here and they're looking at a 2014 Kia Optima and they ask for our price online, Lou, what do we give them?
Price online.
What else do we give them, Lou?
Comparison of what is it, brand new, in service need, reconditioned report, car proof.
We give them everything and more, but the first thing we do is we start with our best foot forward. And we're going to make sure that every customer gets the best foot forward. Now, before I move on, I just asked Corinne to join me today because what you've been experiencing in sales, we've also been working with in service. And we've been trying to educate our service department on the same kind of sense of urgency, belief in the product, coming across as sharp as a tack, an expert enthusiasm for our product, and all of those things that we talked about. And Corinne, yesterday, was confronted with a unique opportunity. So Corinne, can you just enlighten everybody on the opportunity?
Yep, sure. So what it was we had a customer that has given us an okay to go ahead and do a job on his vehicle on Saturday. We offered him a loan vehicle, which he took home for the weekend. He called us yesterday morning to cancel. Now we brought Adam in on his day off to do the job, and we have the parts here, and he started tearing it apart. So the customer's call was about not having the money and wanting to just cancel the job. So we had told them, the first call we had told them, the vehicle's been started, there's nothing that we can do kind of at this point, we're already on the go with it. And then he called me back after, and I then said, okay, you want to leave that with me for a minute, and I'll give you a call back. So I came up and I talked to Todd about it, just because, and Todd made a very good point when I talked to him about it. I just said, the guy said he doesn't have any money, but does he? Obviously he does, because he's given us to pay on Saturday. He's now just either talking to people or just kind of like, I don't know if I want this done right now, or whatever the story was. So Todd helped me and guided me with writing up a script for this guy, and said to me, go back and rewrite it. I did. Practiced it. I practiced it on Lori a couple of times, practiced it on Todd once, and did it myself 3 times. And I made the call, which I've never done. Like that's something that's new to me, and it worked very, very well. Very, very well.
And the net result was the guy
agreed to what we had to say, and we just pointed out the true facts of that whole situation. You left your vehicle with us.
Can you read the script the way you said to them?
So what I did is I called him, just explained who I was, and was very confident about it. I asked him right off the bat, do you mind if I ask you a question? Since you came in on Saturday, you took our vehicle home with you. You were aware that our mechanic was coming in on his day off. So do you understand the idea of us starting to work at 7:30 this morning? Fraser, does that idea make sense to you? And he said, yeah. So how we do our business is we build our business one customer at a time. We gave you a card. Who does that? Our technician came in early. They don't ever do that. And we committed to source parts a little cheaper for you. Fraser, just one more question. Does that not sound like a company you do business with? And I waited, and he said, yeah. I said, fair enough? Yeah. And then, and there was a little bit of conversation in between. He said, well, can I call you back? So, well, here's the thing. My technician, like I said, he was coming on his day off. He's just sitting here waiting now to finish it. While it's here, why don't we just get it finished for him? Work needs to be done anyway. He said, yeah, go ahead. And he never did call me back. We called him, so the truck's done. He came back, paid for it.
And paid how much of the bill?
The whole amount.
So my point is, interesting. What did you notice about Corinne when she spoke? Somebody tell me. When she spoke, what's the first thing you noticed about her body language?
The tone and the way she said it.
The tone, right? Fair enough. Right?